Hi ladies, this is part 4. The other part of the video got cut off, so here's part 4. You're married, you're newlyweds now, everything is fun and games. And figuring out, how to live together harmoniously, maintain the spiciness and the juiciness, and you learning to acquiesce even more now that you are in a relationship. You may have married a man hopefully 5 years or more older than you. If he's the same age, energetically you have to acquiesce and actually acquiesce to him. And I suggest you live off his income. Now, if he's making $35,000, $40,000, you married him, live off his income. Take your money, save it for the babies that you want to have so that you can stay home with them. If you both have debt, eliminate it. Eliminate the debt. So take your resources, your paychecks as much as you can and eliminate the debt, because debt will suck you dry. Debt will keep you in relationships where you need to be out of. So he may have children and child support. Figure out a payment plan for all of that. You usually have your payment plan. Take your money and save it for the children that you want to have with him. Now, if you have a child, then that's another set of circumstances and a budget line item, so to speak. But now you're married and you're learning how to acquiesce even more in the relationship. Like I said before, I really believe this, and this is not anything I came up with. I got this from Dr. Patricia Allen, the author of Getting to I Do, where she says, if you don't have to call the police, the doctor, or a lawyer, acquiesce. That means doing it his way. You have input. You let him know how you feel about things. But basically, if you don't have to call one of those 3 professionals, you're just doing it his way. If you're better at handling the money, you have to figure out how to convince him to let you handle the money. But rest assured that that is a kind of masculine thing. Women do it because if you're single, you have no other choice. And because of the freedom that we have to manage our own finances. And let's face it, some women are better at that than men, and some men are better at it than women. In your relationship, in your marriage, you figure it out. If you're not married to the person, this is going to be hard. If you are not married to the man that you are involved with and you consider him to be your boyfriend and you want to get married and you've asked him about it, you have to stop sleeping with him. And know and be okay with him leaving, because he was going to milk it as long as he could. Men like having intimate relations with no commitment. They don't have to take care of you for, dating. They can take you out once a week, twice a week. It's nothing to them. And rest assured, you're not the only one that he's doing that with. Some women are engaged and stuff, and the man is still dating around. So there you have it. But if you are in a relationship where it's called boyfriend and girlfriend, stop sleeping with him and be okay with him leaving, because you want to get married and you want to be in a relationship with a man who wants to make that commitment to you. And if he doesn't, you can tell him, I want to get married next year. And if he, I want to get engaged this year in 2023. And I think it's best that we just date other people. You just tell him, I'm going to start dating other people, other men. I want to get married. I'm looking for a man who wants to get married too. We can still date, but we will no longer be sleeping together. I will no longer be sleeping with you. He might, propose and get that engagement ring and all of that, or he may just say, okay. And then, you don't have to spend another 3, 4, 5 years or whatever it is wasting time with him. What else? Ladies, we just have to practice acquiescing and marrying men who are 5 years older than us and are financially established. If you are in love with a man who is your same age and he makes just as much money as you do or less, I say, even for myself, this is what I say for myself. If I meet a man that has everything else that I'm looking for and he doesn't make what I make, and I make the average. So I'm thinking, any man my age should be able to make the average. I am living at his level. We're not going to combine mine with his and move it up to the next financial tax bracket. I'm unwilling to do that. I'm just going to live at his level. And I'm cool with that. The question becomes, is he cool with that? And a real man, a man who's a leader, protector, provider, he's going to be okay. He probably be like, yeah, because this is what he can do. This is what he can afford. It's no higher than he can afford. I'm okay with it. That's what I say to women who are in relationships. And if you're married to a man who makes less than you got to be willing to dial it back. Dial it back and be happy where you are. That's another thing. There's a whole lot of discontentment and dissatisfaction in relationships based on material things. And people say, well, hypergamy is based on materiality. Of course it is. It's in the woman's nature to want higher for herself than where she is, or at least at a bare minimum where she is. And I'm not saying settle, but what I am saying is that if you love this man and you want to give it a chance and he is at a certain economic level that you can live with, go to his level. Don't combine what you're doing with what he's doing and then you take it up a notch. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Because that sets you up to always be, contributing. Suppose you get sick. And at this mature age, we're very vulnerable to all of these things. I'm in my 60s, so we're very vulnerable to a lot of illnesses and things of that nature. And so I need to live where he is comfortable. And because my lifestyle is not big and extravagant, that's going to be pretty easy for me, I think. It's going to be pretty easy for me. So anything else on relationships? I'm just asking this question. Can I do a video on relationships? I thought I was doing relationship videos, but I guess I was doing dating videos, which is a timeline or a time frame within a relationship, right? Don't argue with men. And I was guilty with this. I had to prove my point and do all of that. I don't do that anymore. I just don't. I state my position. I state it femininely, softly, kindly, respectfully. There's even a way that I go about talking about things that are serious. And I got this from Dr. Patricia Allen because honestly, I didn't even know how to do it. I just knew how to just ugh. And nobody wants to hear that crap. I don't want to hear it. So I know he doesn't want to hear it. So I would say something like this. If it was a sensitive subject, I would say, John, I would like to talk about my feelings. Is now a good time for me to share it with you? Yes. Okay. Yeah, go ahead. And so then I would share my feelings. If he said no, I would say, okay, so when would be a good time? Today, tomorrow, 4 o'clock, 6 o'clock? And then I get specific like that because that's the kind of person I am. Because if he says no and he says tomorrow at 4, I'm expecting it to be tomorrow at 4. And he's decided. If tomorrow at 4 rolls around, I'm not going to mention it. Because it needs to be important enough for him to remember. And I'm going to wait for him to come back around to me. That takes patience, right? That takes acquiescing. That takes patience, acquiescing. That takes patience. That takes knowing who you are. that eventually it's going to come around. Eventually it's going to come around. When it comes to, what else in relationships? Things are not going to go your way all the time. They're not going to go your way all the time. You have to ask yourself the question, is it worth the, what did they say? Am I going to win the battle and lose the war? It's kind of like violent, but am I going to win the point and lose his cherishing of me, his good feeling toward me? Do you want to be right, or do you want to be happy? Do you want to be right, or do you want to be happy? I want to be happy. I don't know about y'all, but I want to be happy. God, I'm in 11 minute mark. So anyway, I think I've covered most of the things. And if you want to see more relationship videos, let me know.